to the channel. I'm Scotty D, and this is an R. Taylor Style 1 from 2006, and it is serial number 303. It's made of Swiss Alpine spruce on the top and fabulous bird's eye maple on the back and sides. And it has a nasty old heel crack. We're gonna get her all fixed up in the same way that they do it at the Taylor repair shop. I talked to one of the previous employees there. He worked there for quite some time. He knows exactly what to do. And this is not too uncommon. Let's get taking this neck off.
Take a look inside at the neck block. This is held on to the bolts with two magnets. I just kind of pried it loose with a plain razor blade and I'll get it outside of the guitar and hold it up in front of the camera. Two magnets, looks like they were super glued in place. Modified X-brace. I called into Taylor a few years ago to get this kit. It has shims, but it also has some specialized tools for taking the neck off. It's basically I'm just going to need these two tools for this job. I think there's some, yeah, this one's really neat for the preamp knobs, getting the preamp knobs off. But anyways, I'll use these ones. Back inside the guitar, this little hex bolt holds the fretboard extension down to the body. And they give you a little ratchet. Kind of wish it didn't have a opening all the way through it. Maybe I should put a piece of tape on the backer. Keep that thing a little more steady. And you know why it's so confusing when I'm loosening this? Because the bolt is facing directly at me. It's lefty tighty, righty loosey. Yeah. When you're standing behind the bolt, it's righty-tighty. But when the bolt is facing your eyes, it's lefty-righty, lefty-tighty. All right. These ones aren't so confusing. At least they're going off to the side when you're standing there in front of the guitar. Get these babies out of there. Hold on to those washers too. You don't want to lose one of those. You could dent the wood permanently if you put that bolt back in there without a washer. You get too much compression on the wood. So you can see here, man, it goes right to the end. That is a lot of crackage. It's going to close up nicely. I wasn't too sure before I just took it off, but the next thing you'll notice here is that the heel cap is angled this way, so I'll have to make a call. I've already got it kind of plotted out right here. It looks like this. I'm going to have to remove this wood where I've penciled in, and it'll sit right over here. This is what Dave told me to make, a little caul, clamping caul, and a single clamp should do it. If I need to put a little extra pressure here, I can rig up something. We'll see. We'll make this first, put the clamp on there, and see if I need to rig it up in a way where I'm pulling the clamp this way a little bit. Maybe with a ratchet strap or something. Well, while we're here, this is that the heel or the neck block tag. It is modified X-brace, 65-foot radius top, so that's a pretty flat top. Bird's eye maple with Swiss alpine spruce. That's how I knew that what that was. I was reading the label. Serial number 303. Very nice. What a beautiful piece of maple. Now you can see that this neck is it had a seam right here, which you can clearly see how the growth rings don't line up perfectly. That's because this came from two separate pieces glued together right here. The crack started on the glue line but traveled away from the glue line as it made its way, and it made its way towards the fretboard higher on this side and away from the fretboard on this side, it looks like. So weird how that happens, but it does. Also take a look at these. These are the shims. That's what's in the box over there. We have a 0 shim here on the neck heel, and we have a -2 shim over here on the fretboard extension. And the reason that's a negative number, it's always a lower number here to create a little fall away. Don't want a lot of fall away, just a little bit. That's why it's not like a -6 or whatever, it's a -2. So they're just barely tapered, these things. And you can do a neck reset without all the hard work. Like, it's a lot of hard work on a Martin, Gibson, Harmony, etc., Yamaha, but it's a breeze with the Taylor because this design is brilliant, and it's the reason Taylors are my favorite sounding guitars. I do have a Gibson though that I like the neck the best on, but I like the sound of the Taylors. Did I tell you how much I like my Total Vice number 7? I really do. It's made in Montana. Same state where the Gibson acoustic guitars are made. This is a fine rasp. That rasp gets more use than any other rasp in the drawer. I really love that rasp. Yeah, so a little ratchet strap like this, just to give it just a little bit more pressure. It seems to make everything super flush when I tightened it up. So let's get the epoxy ready. They recommend epoxy, so I'm going to use the thin West Systems Marine Grade 105 with the 206 hardener. Okay, I use 5 parts of the 105 resin, and 1 part of the 206 hardener. Okay, mixed up real good. I've got a couple feeler gauges, so we'll get this all stirred up nice. It's not going to take much. Not going to take much at all. I just scoop a little bit of the epoxy onto the 4/1000ths of an inch feeler gauge. Then I'll switch to a 3/1000ths, see if I can get it See how far I can get it in there. It does hit one of the anchors there, the bolt anchor, the threaded insert, the female part. When I go down, just put an ample amount in there and hope I can work it a little past the anchor hardware, the fastener. I did it about 6 to 7 times. See if we can get some squeeze out when we clamp it. That's some good squeeze out right there. It's a slow setting epoxy, so it's easy to clean up. Plenty of time to clean it up. I use naphtha and paper towels. I've been using Brawny and Bounty and Sparkle paper towels. They're pretty decent quality towel. Be careful with paper towels on plastic parts. They can scratch it if you rub real hard. We'll put that ratchet strap on there just for some added insurance. I've added a little bit of tape around the headstock here for a bit of protection. And yeah, I can see the squeeze. Little extra squeeze. That's beautiful. Just look at that beautiful squeeze out. And it's crystal clear too. Another look at that. So it's the next day. It's very smooth. There's nothing I can do to get it to look any better as far as finish repairs go. That black line, no big deal. There's an edge joint there anyways, original glue line from the factory. So it's reassembly time. I gotta take this tape off the headstock, make sure I didn't damage it. I laid down the low-tack tape first before I wrapped it in this garden variety masking tape. Oh, I got one clean spot on the guitar. Ow! See what strings will do to you? Holding it on its side kind of helps to get all the bolts back in place. Don't need to snug them up too much just yet. So what I was told to do by an authorized tailor tech, Andy Charles Guitars of Birmingham, England, he told me to get the bolts in there, snug up the top bolt through the neck block, put a quick grip clamp on there, make sure it's pushed all the way down in, and then loosen up the that top bolt one more, and then tighten it snug, and then you can tighten up the other three, or release the quick grip clamp and continue to tighten up the other 3 bolts, but it's in that order. It's the top heel or neck block bolt first, the bottom one second, and the fretboard extension last. I did not go to Taylor guitar repair school. I just learned this word of mouth. Now that the world is a much smaller place, it's easy to do. We have Zoom, and we have email, text message, Instagram messaging. It's lovely. Boy, was that baby sharp. If you missed that, go back and look. That was a lot of blood. Blood, sweat, and tears for my customers. Appreciate you hanging around with me today and tuning in. So, I hope to see you soon. Catch you later.